It's Royal Rumble. Hello once again. Welcome to the episode 10 of the Big Brother Lockdown reunion show. And today it was all about the gbas, the fights that happened in the house. Ebuka asked the housemates who triggers them the most. Praise said Lucy, and Tolani Badge said Katrina. And she further explained that Katrina had this boss lady attitude, like she was always feeling as in like a boss lady. She portrayed herself as the boss lady in the house, and she was just being quiet and guarded in the house. Maybe Katrina felt she can test her, and she had to give Katrina hot, like making her know that I might be quiet, but I am not stupid. So Ebuka asked Katrina if Tolani gave it to her. Then showed a video of the fight between Praise and Lucy and Tochi, Tibaj and Katrina. Then Ebuka now asked them if he thinks or he thought Tibaj overreacted. Neo was like, everybody can react anyhow, but many given situation, like they tend to react different ways, and this was just a fight between two girls, and it's an argument that needed to happen, and they needed to get it over with. So what Tony further said, Tibaj had it over with, that she doesn't think Tibaj overreacted, because before then herself and Katrina had issues and Tibaj had her back, so she doesn't think Tibaj overreacted, because after the issue, Tibaj had already had this thing in her mind to pour out and everything, to vent everything out and all, and that was why the fight happened. Then Ebuka further asked V if she thinks Katrina is a bully, and V says she doesn't think Katrina is a bully, but how Katrina expresses herself sometimes might come out as her being a bully. And that was what, as in her communication with Tibaj that day, was what led to the fight. Ebuka now went on to ask the boss lady herself if she thinks she's a bully, and Katrina was like, she is not a bully, but she might actually be bossy, because whenever she's angry, whenever she's upset, how she tends to communicate might rub off as being bossy, but that is just who she is. Then Ebuka now asked Katrina if anyone triggered her in the house, and she said no one actually triggered her. That most arguments in the house was about food. Those housemates like food a lot. Like I don't just get it. Any little fight, food. I think it's a thing that happens whenever there are a lot of people staying in the same place, like a lot of people staying in a particular place, like housemates. I think food arguments will definitely come up one way or the other, even if it's not food, cleaning and other things. Like those kind of fights are definitely gonna happen. So Ebuka asked Prince why he reacted the way he did. Like, okay, if you are very conversant with Big Brother, you would remember when they were having that fight, Prince actually dropped his head, like as if he was disappointed or something. So Ebuka asked, like, why the reaction? And Prince was like, he's tired of the argument over food. Food was an issue even after Katrina left. It was no longer Katrina's problem. Unlike before, they were all saying it was Katrina, but this time Prince was trying to let Ebuka know that even after Katrina left, food was still an issue. Like food, I'm a foodie. And fights and related fights with Lucy too was still about food no ni oúnjẹ yìí no ni. So also said that Lucy's argument was not about food, that they shouldn't get it wrong. It was about cleanliness. And actually, yes, Lucy seemed to me like someone that is very obsessive compulsive when it comes to cleaning. Like, she likes everything in arranged in a particular way, like you have to do it her way. She doesn't want to know. But Katrina's case, according to Ozo, was about rations, like food rations, like maybe when she dish for this one is more than what she dishes, rather what she dishes for this person is more than what she dishes for another person. So definitely fights will come up. So after that, though, after the whole Lucy, Katrina, what triggers you gist, Ebuka showed a clip of Prince and Nengi's Prince and Ozo, Prince and Ozo's fight, and he said he was disappointed in Ozo's reaction. Like, why should Ozo react that way? Even me, I was asking myself while the show was ongoing, like, why did Ozo react that way? And Chikiti said, oh, that something was going on between Ozo and Prince as at that time of the fight, that Prince was actually close to Nengi, but before the fight, like before the fight, that Ozo was close to Nengi. So maybe they had issues, then Nengi now became closer to Prince, then the old beef and everything. So it feels the whole fight was about Nengi. And V said she didn't know anything about the whole thing, that she just thought Ozo was angry because of the tax until she heard the whole gist and all. Then Tonani Batch said she agrees with what Trikiti said, because there was a triangle actually while that fight happened. Like, there was a triangle, that is, there was Prince and Nengi, Prince and Ozo. So the whole thing might have caused the shout and everything, the Ozo's reaction. So Dora said that they were both a friend, that is Nengi and Ozo as at that time, and she remembered having that conversation with Ozo, like, why did you react that way and everything. And she also agrees with Trikiti that Ozo's anger was due to the fact that Prince was closer to Nengi, and the old tax too might have frustrated Ozo. Maybe that was why he reacted the way he did. So Ebuka asked Nengi if she felt it was about her. You always know Nengi now. She always tries to, as in, stay on the safe side. She's not ready for drama. So Nengi said no, that she doesn't think it was because of her, or she didn't think it was because of her, and that when she asked him, he said he was angry because they weren't focused on the tax. Also, knowing him well, after the show, she observed that he doesn't get angry. And people that don't get angry, once they get angry, it's always abnormal. You get. So she didn't use the word abnormal, but I'm just saying it like people that get angry, once they get angry, it's always bad. Like, hey, you think Shango came down from hell? So Prince said he didn't think it was because of Nengi as at then, but now that he thinks it was because of Nengi. And also said that it had nothing to do with Nengi. It had nothing to do with Nengi, and that himself and Prince are no more close. Like, they are not close anymore. Like, initially they were cool at first, but they are no longer close. And Prince said most of the housemates don't talk to him anymore. And I'm like, wow, Prince Mr. Nigeria, ex Mr. Nigeria. Wetin they do this housemate sef? So also was like, Prince is a very talented guy, but he's not always happy, especially when others win. Like, he's not always happy for others when they win, and that was one of the traits that made him disconnect from Prince. So Prince, trying to defend himself, said this is coming from someone who smashed plantain after losing a tax in the house. I was like, why so petty, Prince? As in, that guy is always petty. His response always petty. That was why he said Brighto judged people according to his pocket, like Brighto is poor or something. That was what his comment was insinuating. And I'm like, why are you so petty, Prince? You're over petty for a guy. He now said he tried explaining further that he gets pissed whenever he loses, and that doesn't make others feel comfortable around him. I'm like, why so petty, Prince? Like, that guy is always over petty. His responses are always petty, sha. So he further explained that that he doesn't like losing. Like, he gets pissed whenever he loses, and he feels bad for himself. But once he's done, he comes out of it. Like, he snaps out of it. He comes back in. That so V said the same thing also said, like, Prince is not always happy for others, and she doesn't like that trait too. That she didn't just have anything to say to Prince. So Tiba said she got used to the fact that he gets down whenever he loses. So she always gives him that space, as in whenever he's like that. And once he comes back, they talk, they have the conversation. But Prince beats himself up a lot. That she notices that about him. Like, she had noticed that in the house anyways about him. Like, he beats himself a lot, and he puts himself in a lot of pressure, like, by beating himself. Like, why didn't I win? And I'm like, there are people like that. We call them overachievers. Like, they tend to get angry when they don't meet up to their expectations. Like, they beat themselves up as if they caused it, for them not being there, for them not winning and everything. And this life is too short though, so just do your best and leave the rest. And you overachiever, Joe. So that's my advice to Prince too. As they stop beating yourself up. The place you are safe, some people are still looking up to get there, and they are not killing themselves or beating themselves over anything. So Prince, Prince, calm down. Please calm down. After Tiba tried explaining how she sees Prince, like who he really is and everything, Ebuka asked Lucy what she thinks about the whole issue with Ozo and Prince. And Lucy said she believes both sides. Like, she believed their stories, and everything might have been caused due to the house tension. Like, while they were inside the house, there was tension everywhere and everything. That might have escalated the issue and all. And she thinks what both of them said today was unnecessary. Like, why should you say you're not friends with someone anymore because he's always sad when he loses? Like, that is not enough reason to stop friendship. Then Dorothy was like, she never knew that Prince and Ozo were friends. And I was like, wasn't also your friend, like your paddy. So you should know that at some point himself and Prince used to talk, like they sit down, they have conversations. So what is Dorothy saying? But well, sure, it might be possible. Maybe she didn't just put enough attention towards that side, so she might not have seen them talking, and also you might not really know truly, so don't let me judge. So Praise said something, same thing Dora said, like he said he didn't know that Prince and also were friends, and I'm like, is it that this housemate, they don't observe each other or what? Left to me, if I was in that house now, proco everybody business I go know. Don't mind me. Anyways, as I said, we all have how we connect to a person. So maybe himself and Prince didn't just connect. That initially they were talking, but that trait he observed just disconnected everything. So Ebuka said, did you address the issue? Like he asked if also addressed the whole he always said when people win issue with Prince, and he said yes, he did. So Prince said the fact that he's pissed when he's pissed at himself when does not mean that he's not happy for other people, like the housemates insinuated, like he's happy for them. But I get where he's coming from. You know, all these students way back now when we were in secondary school, that you are still crying that my position, I'm the 5th position, I'm at the 7th position in the class and everything, and then they are at the 2nd position, and they are still angry because they didn't take first, like they are not at the 1st position in the class. And you're looking at, is this one mad? 2nd position, thank God we did 5th, I be last. We are still crying. So I think Prince is like one of those students way back. Anyways, I understand where he's coming from, and he said to those who had problems with him being overly competitive in the house, that it's a competition. So why come to a competition at the first place if you are saying someone is overly competitive? Like, why are you in that competition? And I agree with him. It's a competition. Yes, nobody is happy to carry last or to carry second. You are there to win it. You are in it to win it. So they should stop seeing it as a big deal, like him being him being competitive. I won't say he's over competitive. Him not being happy doesn't mean he's Badbelle. So he said also when he left that some people talked behind his back, especially Neo and V. I want Bebo house. the apricos in the house. That's the meaning of what I just said. So that because they felt it was overly competitive, and then why would they have to cheat? Like, why would they have to cheat at the Johnny Walker game if they weren't competitive? And I'm like, good question. Why did you cheat if you are complaining someone is overly competitive? And why do you have to cheat if you yourself are not as in you people are not competitive? Like, Neo responded by saying, concern me. Like, waiting in the talk, no concern me. I talk to V about every other person. So you are not the only person I talk to V about. So he can't even remember, and he can't remember the conversation, that particular conversation Prince was talking about. And maybe tackled Neo that, but Neo was always eavesdropping in the house, and truly they can talk, you won't hear what they are saying. That Neo was always eavesdropping in the house. And Neo said he actually talked to Prince about his moments, like why you always unhappy and everything when people win and all that. Ibuka asked V that, can you now see how it is for Prince, like when they were talking behind his back, like they didn't talk in front of him. Like they feel what he's feeling, like can they now see how it is for him? And V said everybody talked behind everybody's back. So that she was in a clique, and they never discussed him. Like she agreed, like she was in a clique in the house and they never discussed him. And Prince was like, did you indirectly say that you sabotaged me? And I'm like, oh God, Prince, calm down now. This thing has passed. Stop taking it pee. Calm down. And also said that wasn't them sabotaging him or something, that they were just playing, and he should stop playing the victim card. Like he should stop acting like a victim. And Prince said, I'm not trying to act like a victim. And there is a video where they sabotaged him. And I'm like, ge. And Nengi was like, you don't have to say that you weren't the only one that got affected. Like, yeah, that a lot happened in the house and everything. So V was like, nobody can let you lose in that house but you. And I'm like, what do they mean? If I'm in a clique, I can form alliance with my clique now, and we do things and get away with it. So unlike if you are alone, like imagine 4 people against 1 person. So yeah, if he says they sabotaged him, maybe there are things he saw and he felt, okay, these people sabotaged him. So Praise said actually he saw Prince as a threat. And also said Prince isn't a threat to him, and he was never a threat even in the house. So Praise said we all go to the show to win, which is actually right. Everybody went to that show to win. So you can't get anyone to react in a particular way, or say they shouldn't react in any way just because you're not reacting that way. So they should just let Prince be. That was what Prince was trying to say. And Lucy confessed that when she was in the house, that after Prince won the privilege, that she was the one that said she must win the next game, that because Prince asked them to cook. That, and what she was saying, she was just joking, like she didn't even take it seriously. She was just joking, like I must win next one, so that me too I can other people around, that kind of thing. That was what she was trying to say. So Ebuka said, do you think they see you as a threat? He asked Prince, Ebuka asked Prince if the housemates, if he thinks the housemates saw him as a threat. And Prince said no, but that is their problem. Like, even if to him he feels they didn't see him as a threat, but if they do, that is their problem. Now their wahala be that. Ebuka now asked them one after the other that who do you think faked being triggered in the house? And Trickity was like, Lucy. Praise said Lucy, that he even thought Lucy was a fake housemate. He even said it on the show, like that he thinks Lucy is a fake housemate. Then Lucy said Keisha or Erica. Then Neo said Lucy. Tochi said he doesn't know. T-Bat said no one, like she doesn't know. But she thinks she overreacted with the whole Katrina situation, but she needed to make a statement. And before then, she told Dora that if Dora could remember, she told Dora, as in quietly, that Dora should go and warn Katrina. That she asked Dora to warn Katrina that, but she doesn't know if Katrina, if Dora delivered a message, but that she actually asked Dora to warn Katrina. Nengi said she doesn't think anyone overreacted in the house, like, or faked being triggered. Sorry, she doesn't think anyone faked being triggered. Watoni too said the same thing, that she doesn't know if anyone faked being triggered. And that was how day 10 ended. I hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time on episode 11. Remember to subscribe, click on the like button, and make a comment. See you tomorrow for day 11. Bye.